Hello and welcome. Can't wait to get this episode of the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast started. Man, we're going to be talking about critiques and praises as we've all been able to watch that week one victory by the Denver Broncos. Can't wait to get this started. Might as well get it started. Right about now. Hello, and welcome to the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. I'm Keith Brugman, man, but I'm not alone, man. It's Wednesday night. It's hump day. And Jody, the Judge Moncrief, is here as well, man. We went over this game. We watched it ourselves. We maybe rewatched it a few times. I watched the All-22 film. And now it's time. It's time we get into the critiques. We get into the praises. But first and foremost, welcome to the show, Mr. Jody Moncrief. How you doing, man?
Doing good. What's up, everyone? I'm excited for this week. Hopefully the offense can get back on track. Hopefully Bo Nix can find his footing, and we can stop hearing how this is 2015 all over again with the defense carrying this team. So
that's what he wants to hear. I don't know if it's going to happen, man. I want to be honest. I'm going to try to be friends with all the super loyal fans, the ride or die, this team's going to the Super Bowl type of fans, but I'm not going to hold back tonight, Jody, man. I think there's plenty of critique to go around. We'll give praise as well, man. And speaking of praise, man, I'll go over to the chat, the posse, and say hello to Mr. Ernie Mays, coming in and saying, go Broncos country only. Hello, all four, maybe. Only two on a Wednesday. Broncos 24-9 over the Colts. Already getting his prediction out for next week. We're going to be concentrating on last week versus that pesky Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans. And what was probably a closer game than what we should have seen, expected, or had, Jody. And like I said, plenty of criticism to go around. Let the posse breathe for just a moment. And awesome. I'm seeing that I got to send one more invite out. Appreciate it, Jody. I want to get into some pretty big news, though, first and foremost. It's not very often a privately funded stadium for a major sport happens. Sure is nice to have the Walter Penner Group, Jody. That's all I got to say on that as far as the privately funded goes. But new stadium coming for the Denver Broncos. You're even more familiar with Colorado than I. Talk about that Burnham Yard Stadium coming to Denver in the very near future.
I'm excited. This will allow Denver in the future to host Super Bowl games, to host big sporting events, probably Final Fours, maybe finals, a lot of different stuff like that. So the retractable roof, I was excited to hear that. On natural grass, I like that. That location, I probably was in the minority on where I wanted it, but for the city of Denver itself, it's probably in the best location.
Mm-hmm.
And it will probably, build a little mini city right there with bars and different things. So, but that being said, I think it I'm glad that it's happening, and for the city of Denver and around there, no new taxes. That's pretty big. So, because I think the one in Buffalo, I think it's all tax funded. So,
Whew. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's probably why they're also threatening to go to Toronto at one point as well. You know, like I said, completely different place when you're with the Denver Broncos as of today with the Walter Penner Group on board. And man, I can't believe we're already getting another stadium. It seems to me, because I'm an old man, Jody, that we just opened up the stadium that we're in like 5, 6 years ago. It's obviously longer than that, but brand new stadium and probably going the right route, right? We're going retractable roof, though they want to go ahead and have open air games and snow on the field, which is fantastic. But also, like you said, mini city around it, open to multiple events. This is going to be a highlight for Denver. They have the largest airport in the United States. Now will have a fantastic stadium, and there's no reason not to hold a Super Bowl or any major event in Denver. I don't know. Just another hats off, tip the cap to the Walter Penner Group, what they're doing with this Denver Bronco team. It seems like no expense is being spared when it comes to taking care of the Denver Broncos and our team.
right, and this
And
is a definite want, not a need. I mean, what they do is they just sunk like 100 million into upgrades at the stadium last year, I think. So
exactly.
it's definitely more of a want than a need. They want that Super Bowl in Denver. They want the NFL draft there.
Mm.
They want those type of things.
Oh my goodness.
And this is the only way that they're going to get those in Denver. So
Boy, you had me excited about a 2030 NFL draft, 2031 NFL draft, something like that. Estimated could exceed $4 billion in the building of the stadium. Can't wait to see what the Walter Penner Group have in store for us in the future. Again, just some highlights. Open air stadium. It should be fantastic. Roy Osborne, keeping us on the level, says, "Hey there, guys. Before I talk about football, rest in peace, Charles Kirk. And tomorrow is 9/11 as well, man. Yeah, I don't know if I'll necessarily be a super positive guy. And to be honest, a lot of this news, as far as Charles Kirk, broke right before, or at least I saw it right before we went live. So I don't want to comment too much on that. But at the same time, obviously we don't like to see anyone gunned down by a gunman. I'll just put it that way. And 9/11, boy, that's a day that lives in my mind and won't go unnoticed tomorrow as well. Moving on, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick, he's hanging out in the background. I see him over there. He's typing away on the keyboard, saying hello, Keith and Jody. It's on my bucket list to go when they open it up, man. That Denver Broncos new stadium, hopefully projected for, I believe it's 2031 is from what I read. Mr. Clayton coming in, saying, hey, guys. Not pumping iron. Saw you're going to be hitting the gym, my friend. Go after it, buddy. I know it's been in your plans. Go after it, my friend. Saying, how you doing, man? Smash that like and share button, as he always does. And we got our good friend, Miss Pearl, coming in, saying hello to everyone as well. Roy Osborne, well, indirectly will be a state country and possibly funded as far as the road improvements may need to be done. Yeah, I guess the infrastructure around the stadium may not be completely free to every single taxpayer. Didn't necessarily think about that, but it's much better than seeing high percentage tax increases and bonds and the like going towards a $4 billion stadium. If you're having to build around what could be one of the largest attractions to come to Denver in quite some time, then you have to buck it up a little bit, I guess, for when it comes to being the city of Denver. Good evening, Keith and Jody, and Go Bo Broncos, Orange and Blue Hearts, that mile high salute. Also liking this new look on StreamYard with these comments, big and bold and beautiful, and seeing Michael Ronquillo come in here, drop 100 stars. We appreciate you, Michael Ronquillo. Talking just a little bit, I had to talk a little bit about the new stadium. It is big news. Not every team gets a new stadium, Jody, and yeah, I know it's just in the works. It's just in heck, it hasn't even broke ground yet. It's really in an announcement stage, but happy to see it, man. Happy to see the investment.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, it's more of a want than a need, but that's the advantages of having rich owners. We're going to get things that other teams are not going to get. I mean, we're upgrading, Dove Valley right now, new stadium. I mean, they put new grass on the field for the last game of the season when we weren't going to make the playoffs 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Just they're going all out, and I think this is why you are getting big time players coming here and wanting to stay here. So, I guess continue to support Walmart.
Yeah, go out there and support your local Walmart. It's only helping the Denver Broncos. I did hear a question come up, and I'll give you this. This is a quick rapid fire, as quick as you can off the top of your head. I don't know how easy this would be. Give me, if you can, 3 players that'll be on this team when we open up the new stadium.
Oh, what is that, in 6 years?
Yeah.
I'm going to say hopefully Quinn Miners is still around.
Like it.
Hopefully Pat Sertan is still around, and hopefully Bo Nix has played himself into a second contract, and hopefully he's around.
Yes, I was hoping you were coming up with that last one, man. Yeah, all good nominations, by the way. I think Quinn Miners might have one of the best chances outside of, maybe a long snapper or a punter or something like that, who tend to have long careers. If they stick with the same team, they certainly could have a long career. Boy, sure would be nice to have a Bo Nix, though. That's the one that I was waiting for you to say, man. It would be nice to see second contract, Bo Nix, 2031, opening up the stadium. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Michael Ronquillo just remind us that he works for Walmart. He's supporting them in a different way than most of us do, on the front lines and probably on the back lines, or on the back lines and probably on the front lines, I should say. Mr. Keith coming in here. Anybody that named Keith, I got to put their comment up. Hey, Keith and Jody, I hope they bring some of that mile-high history and honor to the players, to honor the players. They have a great opportunity to really show out and show up for the Denver Broncos, for the history that we have, to really commemorate. If they're willing to spend as much money as they do, how fantastic would it be to really emblematically put some of our best out there on display around that stadium. I have thoughts running through my mind of how you could do it. Now all of a sudden I'm an architect. Peter Johnson coming in. The owners always said they would build a new stadium. They are putting a stamp all over this team. If you have all that money to spend, then why not? And yeah, they get it in return. A great run organization will get your money back. I think the Denver Broncos are aiming to do that. Mr. Phil McLaughlin coming in. Hello, Keith and Judge. On vacation, just stopped in to say hello and asked, why did we sign another running back to the practice squad? Have a good show, Mr. Phil McLaughlin. Appreciate that, man, and enjoy that vacation. Hope it's someplace fantastic and wonderful, enjoyable, and you have a fantastic time, my friend. If you don't see another more minute, just go out there and have fun. That's all I want. Judge, this was the one thing that I think that you put as far as in the agenda we should talk about, with maybe a laugh out loud emoji behind it. But we did sign a running back. We signed Deuce Vaughn. How excited are you to see Deuce Vaughn in the running back room, Jody Moncrief?
I'm not really that excited. I
didn't think so.
I mean, he just signed to the practice squad, so I mean, he's got a ways to get where he wants to be. if he eventually makes his 53, I mean, you probably because of injuries.
Hmm.
But that being said, Sean Payton has always had a hard on for Darren
Oh,
Sproles, and this is a Darren Sproles 2.0. I mean, from size to everything. So that being said, it makes sense why he would bring someone in like a Darren Sproles type. I mean, this is Darren Sproles to a T.
very good. He's always been very excited for players like like Darren Sproles. I believe that's what Jody said. Got to give a shout out to Phil before. Hopefully, he's still hanging on out there, dropping stars. We appreciate that very much, man. Don't know how much that makes the world go around in the podcasting world. We appreciate it. If you can't give 100 stars, a like, a love, a wow, a share, a subscribe, just telling your friends about the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast would be absolutely amazing. We appreciate all the support that you can give any way you can give it. You guys are all amazing. Appreciate you a ton. And yeah, enough of that, man. Enough of that. Deuce Vaughn, yeah, I knew that you wouldn't be excited about yet another running back addition to this running back room. You're already calling for less running back opportunities divided among the running backs. Deuce Vaughn, I didn't expect was going to be anything that you'd be excited about. But that being said, let's break into this game, man. It's critiques and praises, man. I don't know where you want to start off. We can go back and forth, I guess is the best way to do it. But give me a critique or praise you have for this team. I'll let you start it off, man. I'm telling you, I'm going to be loaded up on that critique side, and not going to hold back either.
I'm going to critique Sean Payton, the leader of this offense. I didn't like the game plan. I didn't like I don't remember exactly what I heard today. 13 or 16 to 1 pass to run to start the game off. I didn't like that. I didn't like that it took till the fourth quarter to get the run game going. But hopefully what he's seen there, hopefully that translates over. I'll just critique the whole offense. I didn't like how some of the plays, how long they took to get in. I mean, at one point you could hear Bo Nix on the mic saying, "Get the plays in, get them in." I mean, he's yelling, plays aren't coming in fast enough. And I never really thought about it, but I did hear someone today say, as slow as the plays were coming in, I mean, you pretty much gave the defense, you let them know it's going to go, the snap counts on 1, and you gave them the advantage because there was no chance for him to audible. There was no, messing with the snap count or nothing because you were getting to the line and you were hurry, snap the ball, that type of thing. I didn't like that. I don't think this is going to change. I don't like all the personnel switches every play. He needs to get guys into the game and get them however you want to say it, lathered up and used to the game and stuff. You can't be in for 1 or 2 plays and then you're out for 4 or 5. So he's got a lot of work to do there. And last, I'm kind of on the fence. I'm not really sure how I like the RPO stuff with Bo Nix. I don't like it because he's already got happy feet in the pocket and some different things. I like what we've seen from Bo towards the end of the season. It was dropped back. He was settled in the pocket and that type of thing. If he has to run, but I'm not really if he was more settled in the pocket and that type of thing, then the RPOs are great, but you got to get him settled in the pocket. To me, it looked like whatever he did or took or whatever, he was just so hyped up and different things. I mean, he was arguing with defensive linemen during the game. There was just it didn't look right. And I hope that we see the same thing we did last year when in the Saints game, he was throwing balls between 2 wide open guys right in the middle of them. And after that mini bye, he came back in the Panthers game, was settled in the pocket, throwing dimes and that type of thing. Hopefully there's a change to some things. Let this run game open up the middle. That was one thing that I heard today, that the Colts, they really tried hard with the three safeties, taking away the middle. And that's where Bo Nix, that's what he likes to do, throw over the middle. So the only way you're going to open that up is you got to run the football, and that will allow you to do your play actions and different things and open the middle up.
Yep. 100%. If you're going to start with Sean Payton, that's where I'm going to start, and that'll be my first criticism. Sean Payton took the podium today, and one of the first things he said is, I don't know how many games like I've had like that over my 10-plus year career, but that's a game that it could have been better. I could have called better. Should have got to the run sooner. Should have been overall better with my play calling and the way we performed on the field. Jody, this is year 3, and this is not the first time I've heard this from Sean Payton. Sean Payton was not brought in here to be a number one defense. We may have a number one defense. I could care less when it comes to regard to Sean Payton. Sean Payton hasn't been able to do it with Russell Wilson. He's struggled so far to do it with Bo Nix, especially when you look at the first part of last season. And to come out this year, and we're still talking about not getting plays in on time to where we can make adjustments that we know that the snap count's going to be on 1 because that's what we got to do. The fact that Bo Nix goes out there and has 40 pass attempts in a game where the Titans had 133 total yards and 131 penalty yards. There's no reason to be passing 40 times with Bo Nix, and it started right off the bat. I don't know when this ends, and I don't know how many times you can take the podium and say, oh, well, shucks, oh me. Glad the defense buried us out. Need to get better. But it's got to stop. We paid draft picks. We paid good money. And so far, from what I've seen from Sean Payton, hasn't been all that impressive. I saw more from the Pittsburgh Steelers and what they did with Russell Wilson than I saw what Sean Payton did with Russell Wilson. And they're a defensive-oriented team. It's time for Sean Payton to stop going up there and saying, "Aw, shucks, sorry it was me again, guys. Thank goodness for the defense." This offense should be dynamic. That's what we paid for. That's what I want. It's overdue. Enough. Off to a fast start, Sean Payton. Next week, I guess. Next week. That's my criticism of Sean Payton.
I think Sean Payton has got to look in the mirror, and he's got to tighten up some things with him personally. I think he got lax with Drew Brees because he could just whatever, and if he called a bad play, Drew Brees was smart enough. He could go up to the line and he could audible and he could get into the right play, and he would make the right read most of the time, and Drew Brees would bail him out that way. Bo Nix isn't there yet. He needs to put Bo Nix in the best situation possible and stop with this. I know he has a grudge with the NFL for Bountygate and some other, personal BS that he needs to let go. He needs to put Bo Nix in the best situation, and if that means, like I said like I think all of us said with Russ, if that means Russ is only throwing the ball 20, 23 times, so be it. That's what needs to happen with Bo Nix. And if at the end of Bo Nix's numbers are, if he's only throwing for 250 and maybe a touchdown, but his completion percentage is high and we're running the ball for 150, I'll take that all day. That's what he needs to do. To me, he still has this thing like, I'm going to prove that this is a top 5 quarterback, and I'm going to do it however or whichever way possible, even if that's at the detriment of this offense because I know right now, currently, this defense will bail me out and that type
Thank
of thing.
goodness.
He needs to just he doesn't have Drew Brees. Drew Brees isn't walking through the door. This is not Drew Brees. They have some similar characteristics, but he's not on that level yet. He's not close on that level yet when it comes to being able to adjust and read at the line and that type of thing. And that's where Sean Payton needs to help him out.
100% agree. Peter Johnson came in a little bit earlier, big comment, but he basically said no reason to have 40 pass attempts when you got a J.K. Dobbins and an R.J. Harvey in the backfield. Also saying that he agrees we need to be off to a fast start because Indy is no joke. A Big E Bronco coming in saying, hello, everybody, and how's everybody doing, man? We're into our critiques and praises and got heavy into the critiques. I do think we have a chance to get into some praises before we get into our sponsorship. Keith comes in and says, Keith Stober comes in and says, do you think Payton needs to turn over the play calling duties? We have the up and coming, we do have that up and coming coaching staff. Keith, I need to see it from Sean Payton first. That would be my quick and easy answer. Give me a quick and easy answer, and then we'll jump over to some praises there, Jody.
For me, no, because I've seen Joe Lombardi call plays and I didn't like it.
Fair.
So if he's going to go to somebody, you can say Davis Webb called a great one preseason game, but can he do that for 17 weeks? I don't know. If anything, if he's going to turn him over, Pete Carmichael's on this team. He was his OC for a million years in New Orleans. And he's called plays down there. If that's the route he's going to go, I guess. But Sean, that's not going to happen. So that's like banging your head against the brick wall. So
give up now.
Right.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen. No reason to do it. No reason to consider it. What we do need to consider, man, like I said, is some praises, though, man. We did come out with a 12-20 victory. There's got to be some praises out there someplace. I'm going to let you go ahead and take the mic first on the praises as well, man. So what's the first praise that you have for this Denver Broncos team?
I'll praise the defense as a whole, and I'll praise VJ as well. They called a great game. I think I heard yesterday, maybe even today, I think they only blitzed like 9 or 10 plays the whole game. So they were doing this, up front. They were getting after Cam Ward. They made him look like a rookie. Other than he got one, I want to call lucky play, that first drive where he was able just to kind of look it over to Tony Pollard, who ran for 30. I mean, he was dead for rights for a sack there. They shut him down all game. I don't want to say it was 100% great because the Titans did drop a lot of passes that could have helped Cam Ward, but for the most part, this defense did everything they were asked. They gave up no touchdowns. And I would like to praise Justin Sternot. I thought he played a heck of a game. He's not the greatest linebacker, but he filled in nicely. And if this O can just do, this O doesn't even have to be with this defense. Doesn't even have to be top 10 really. If it can just be, I don't know what the word I want to say, but if it can just be sustainable,
mediocre.
I would like a little more than that. If you can score 20, if this can get you 23 points a game on average, you are going to win a lot of football games.
Yeah. I would say, honestly, if they can put up 23 points a game, then you have the potential of going 17-0. That's how good this defense is. And I agree. If I'm going to give one shout out, if I'm going to give one piece of praise, I got to stay on the defensive side as well, but a lot of different places I could go. To have one target, 0 receptions thrown your way. PS2, oh my goodness, man. Just locking down one side of the defense, once again, locking down a number 1 receiver. I don't know if you knew it, Jody, but Calvin Ridley played for the for the opposing team, the Tennessee Titans. You wouldn't have known it because he didn't show up basically on the stat line at all. I mean,
Right, and I have him like a borderline top 10 wide receiver, and he definitely didn't look like it Sunday. So
100%, man. I just got to give it up to PS2. When you never hear him, I loved. I heard somebody else say the epitome of a great corner like PS2 is the only time you talk about him is when he's, a ball goes his way, and then there's nothing to talk about. And then it happens so rarely. To be ready, on the ready all the time, to be playing your game all the time, and when a ball finally does go your way, it's nothing anyway. Just the relentlessness of PS2, his game, top notch, baby, top notch. Got to give a shout out to PS2. Should be nominated for Defensive Player of the Week, in my opinion.
and I can't get behind.
Go ahead.
I can't get behind the people that want to call him out for, well, he can't be the best because he doesn't get a ton of interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get interceptions when the ball doesn't get thrown your way. So
no, it's going to happen more for our safeties, if anything. That our safeties are so free flowing. Our nickel corner can sometimes be so free flowing. Even a linebacker has a better chance, I think, than PS2 in this particular defense, just because of the way we play, the disguising that we do, and the demands that we put on PS2. And he steps up to the plate, and he, like you said, if he's not throwing your way, what are you supposed to do? I'm going to throw our sponsorship right this way, and that's our fantastic sponsor, Morgan Trinkets. Morgan Trinkets has been your headquarters for Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold at wholesale prices for over 34 years. Once a nationwide company, they hang out in your backyard. Northern Colorado, Southern Wyoming. Heck, just last weekend, they wrapped up the Greeley Dog Show, 75th anniversary of that Greeley Dog Show, and 25th anniversary of Miss Pearl and Morgan Trinkets being out there. If you can't get out to one of the fantastic venues that host Morgan Trinkets, local fairgrounds, dog shows, gem shows, you name it, then don't worry. I still got you taken care of, because you can head on over to Etsy and type in Morgan Trinkets Co. That's Morgan Trinkets Co. And you're all set to go. You'll see everything that Pearl has to offer, including silver, sterling silver, 100%. All orders over $50 are shipped absolutely free. All major credit cards are accepted. And I'm hearing maybe in the future there might be another place that you might be able to find Morgan Trinkets. I'll let you know about that as well. But like I said, if you're into Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold, wholesale prices, don't miss out. Head on over to Morgan Trinkets today. Let's blast through some of these, man. I want to go through another one. I'm going to take the helm on this one. My first criticism, or my second criticism, I guess is going to be for Bo Nix. It's pure, plain and simple. It's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. I saw 2 Bo Nixes out on the field as I went through the All-22. I saw double clutching, second guessing Bo Nix. I also saw locked in, I'm going to throw to this wide receiver, Bo Nix. And that seemed like the 2 guys I saw out on the field quarterbacking the Denver Broncos. He didn't look comfortable. And as I went through the All-22 film, all I could think of is if you were an alien, Jody, and I brought you in to watch your first football game, and I told you one of these quarterbacks is a rookie, and one of these quarterbacks is his second year, I don't know if you could have told the difference, and you may have guessed wrong, because it seemed like Cam Ward was more confident, had more time at the line of scrimmage, directed his guys, and if it wouldn't have been for 3 to 6 drops, maybe this is a completely different game for him altogether. Where Bo Nix, like I said, second guessing, double clutching in the first half, and then locked in on receivers for most of the second half. It's a good thing this running game got going and this defense got going, because Bo Nix looked like kind of like a rookie out there. I put it out there to everybody: regression or week 1 rust. Which is it? Jody, I'd like to get your answer first.
I think it. I don't think it was regression. I think it was more. I don't know what the word is, but he's got to work on. We after this game, it's easy to see what his weakness is, and he's not comfortable throwing outside the numbers, and that is something. I mean, that is something that they've got to work on. Either get him comfortable throwing outside the numbers, or do something to make the middle of the field get open again. Whether the run game, short passes to Evan Ingram. We need to see Pat Bryant play this game. He's supposed to be the guy that wins off the line of scrimmage and that type of thing that can open up the middle. But for me, it starts with the run game. They've got to do something to open up the middle. That's where he likes to throw the ball. That's where he had his best throws last year, and that's on Sean Payton. There was no deep shots. There was nothing. And that's where I go back to Sean Payton has got to look in the mirror and do realize that he still has got to hold Bo Nix's hand a little bit in helping him along. Bo Nix still has got to make the throw and stuff, but he's got to put him in the best position where if he didn't put Drew Brees in the right position, Drew Brees could bail him out. And he doesn't have that yet with Nix. So I don't want to say it's a regression. It's just more of a teams have caught on to what his strengths and weaknesses are. And now his weaknesses they've got to work on and figure out a way to make them strengths or get into plays that get him into his strengths.
That's fair enough, man, because I mean, part of the problem is if you're taking naked bootlegs rolling to your left with an unblocked guy in your face and you haven't ran the ball, no one's biting on that play action naked boot that you just did. It's all got to be relative in the game. You got to have respect for that running to be going down your throat before these bootlegs, especially these now rolling left bootlegs to get him even more off platform. I'm not sure why we're doing this, but these bootlegs to the left against the grain. Yeah, if it's going to be a part of it, man, we better start running the ball, and that will help Bo Nix. But like I said, right out the gate, man, seemed to like kind of second guess where, rather than just letting the ball rip, it was a little bit hesitant, kind of double clutching it. That didn't feel really good. And then he loves Courtland Sutton, Jody. He loves Courtland Sutton. And maybe I'll say it. I was tempted not to say it. One of the best things that could maybe happen, and I wish nothing ill. I don't want anything to happen, Jody. But if Courtland Sutton isn't on the field for Bo Nix, it might actually help Bo Nix. I wrote a whole article about how how Courtland Sutton should not be the go-to guy, should not be a top 10 wide receiver because of the multitude of weapons that we have, including the running game. But it seems like it's all Courtland Sutton once again this year.
I don't have a problem with him going to Sutton and using Sutton as a blanket and different things, but he's also has to trust the other guys. I think he's starting to get there with Franklin. I mean, they had a rapport at Oregon, and he's getting there. But they have got and this goes back to Sean Payton. They've got to figure out ways and different things of what those wide receivers do best. One thing that I really didn't like with Bo Nix, he's great. He's great throwing off platform and different arm angles and stuff. But sometimes just step. And a guy that I think does like better than anyone is Joe Burrow. He stands in the pocket. When someone pressures him, he doesn't try to run or throw off balance. It's just a simple slide or whatever, and he makes the throw. I wish Bo Nix would get to that point where he felt comfortable in the pocket. They called out multiple plays. What I heard today, multiple plays. he climbed the pocket well, but he didn't need to do that. He needs to trust his O line a little bit more and some different things. And he was getting there towards the end of the game, or towards the end of the season last year. The Buffalo game comes to mind. That first drive, the touchdown to Franklin, that deep third down pass to Sutton, he stood in the pocket. He took big shots on both plays and delivered the ball. So I know he can do it. That's where I would like to see him get back to. And it's got to change, or teams are just going to make him throw outside and, rush right up the middle, make him get outside, and till he shows that he can do that, this is what we're going to get. So,
yeah, it's got to be a hand-in-hand relationship, quarterback and coach. And if they do it right, I think that all the pieces and parts are there. We have a Super Bowl winning coach. We have a quarterback that was really coming on at the end of last year, Jody, but doing it in a particular way. And we need to see this offense adapted closer to what we saw at the end of last year and less of what we saw in week one, in my opinion. I want to hit the praise again, man. I'm going to give it up to a guy that, honestly, I think a lot of us were concerned about. And boy, the concerns were erased pretty early in my mind. Injuries for Talanoa Hufanga were put to rest, at least the concerns of his injuries, because that guy went out there and he was a missile all over the field, man. I forgot to write down his stat line. I want to say it was 9 to 11 tackles, somewhere in that range, man. But he was just all over the place. He was diagnosing. I saw this one time. He just went diving into the pile, bounced off a guy, ran right into the ball carrier, took him down. I mean, just hair on fire. Talanoa Hufanga, and zero concerns when it came to injury when it all came said and done.
And he caused that first fumble with that big hit.
Yeah, caused the fumble. I forgot about that. Yeah, should have mentioned that as well. Caused the fumble. I mean, what an impressive first outing for Talanoa Hufanga. The stat line he put up, the energy that he put up, and now you see why he wears that C, that captain. He's a captain out on the field for me. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. I thought he played a heck of a game. He was probably your defensive player of the game. Another guy I'll praise Riley Moss. I mean, Pat Surtain's taken away one side of the field. They're throwing at Riley Moss all game. I think he gave up 3 for 21. I thought he played a heck of a game. And if he can continue to do that, teams are going to have a hard time, throwing the ball. So,
yeah, the second corner sometimes doesn't get as much praise, but in a game like this, where again, pretty locked down. I can't remember one pass necessarily Riley Moss's way that went terrible. I mean, there's going to be completions from here and there, but a great. I mean, if we want to run through the stats, 73 rushing yards or 71 rushing yards from the Titans, 62 passing yards, 133 yards total. I mean, leaves a lot of room for praise for that defense. Got to give it up. Michael Ronquillo's coming in here. Got to give it up for Nick Bonito. Nick Bonito went out there and proved he was worth every dollar of the contract he just recently signed. Held the edge really well. Watch that all 22 film this afternoon and looked fantastic in that regard, because it's easy to talk about the flash plays, how he's just out there disrupting, always in the backfield, always tormenting a quarterback. Seems like he's always getting a sack like he did this game. 6 sacks in total. You had Ellis, Benito, Cooper, McMillan, and Allen all had sacks. So and I think I missed one. Now that I read that list, that's only 5. Also had, like you said, Hufanga with that forced fumble. Just was coming left, right, and otherwise. But yeah, good good shout out for Nick Bonito. Couldn't couldn't have went through all the praises without mentioning Nick Bonito. If you wouldn't have said it, I would have got to it. Do you have another praise? And then if we want to, I guess we can get into one more critique if you like as well, my friend.
I don't really have a praise, but I do have another one that I am down on, and this is for the refs. I thought they had a horrible game spotting the ball. I mean, Sean Payton had 2 for sure, and 1 got overturned, but 3 challenges on just horrible spotting the ball. I mean, they were bad, and the one was so bad that the booth was just said they just overturned it right away, so he didn't have to use a challenge. I thought that the refs had a horrible game spotting the ball all game.
Fair enough, and a couple of questionable calls on both sides of the ball. It did seem like it was pretty even. They weren't too egregious, but there were some calls that could be questioned in that. But you're right, the spotting of the ball was pretty bad. When you keep getting challenge, play overruled, challenge, play overruled. I mean, like you said, to the point where they're like, boy, we're not even going to like make you review this. They were wrong. Just go ahead and mark it a first down and move on. It's pretty bad.
Did you think that should have been a personal foul on Simmons for pushing Cody Barton on that, tackle in the backfield right at the end of the game? Or was that pretty ticky-tack?
Yeah, I mean, we had the morning juice show, and one of the questions we're going to bring up was the whole Jalen Carter spitting incident. My goodness, I'm just maybe I'm old school, Jody, but I'm a little bit over the softening of almost everything. I mean, NFL football. You go back and watch some '70s clips, some early '80s clips. It was an ugly game, Jody. It was an ugly game, and these guys were ruthless. And I'm not saying that it needs to be a WWE type of sport, but at the same time, I don't know. You got to let some things play out. I'm fine letting the play like that play out and just being like, hey, guys, frustrated. It was nothing egregious in my opinion. Some additional blocking. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I was the same way. I thought it was a pretty ticky-tack. Mm-hmm. Especially in a game that, it's close like this, let the refs determine the outcome of it. And it didn't really determine it, but let the refs, have an impact on the outcome of the game. I don't like that.
Yeah. I guess at the same time, fans shouldn't have an impact on the game in any way either. So if you start getting handsy with a player, maybe you're just banned from all NFL games, like the Buffalo Bill fan who got a pretty good shove back, man. I gotta say, if he wouldn't have got banned, he certainly got the bitter end of the physical side of it as well. Jody, it always hurts me, I guess is I can't bring a better word. It's always a struggle inside when we hang a 12-20 victory. And I have so many criticisms. But I just want to say it again, man. I think it's a lot about the expectations. I mean, obviously, we have great owners. We brought in a Super Bowl winning coach. There is talent up and down this roster. And I do want to just see a game out there like some of these other players. I want to see a Daniel Jones game like he hung on the Miami Dolphins last week. From our Denver Broncos as well, or Baltimore Ravens, where Derrick Henry just runs all over a team. I'm fine with that too. But I just want to go out there and see a real dominant offensive performance. I feel like that's what we paid for as fans and as an ownership group when we brought in Sean Payton and we put all these pieces together. Hopefully it all comes together next week, man. I'm excited to see the adjustments that will be made, and hopefully they're good adjustments. Sean Payton is looking in the mirror, according to him, but it's not the first time. So hopefully he gets a real good, clear look this time, in my opinion.
And it's why I'm not just 100% bury Sean Payton, because although the offense looked bad and different things, you have to look at it as a whole. When he took this team over, you were coming off of the Russell Wilson, Nathaniel Hackett debacle,
Mm-hmm.
and the way that was going. You had, and I don't remember who it was. You had the defensive lineman yelling at Russ as he's coming off the field. You just had so many bad things. The Christmas game against the Rams, and and I know it's not just him, but what he and George Payton have been able to do in 2 years while eating all that money of Russ's deal is, to me, has been super impressive. And I don't want to overlook that, because we have seen good things from Sean Payton. Now, like I said earlier, whether that's a lot of Drew Brees bailing him out on certain things, I can't go there and say it was all Drew Brees, because he's still winning football games. Unlike Bill Belichick, once he lost Brady, it just went downhill. So I think they will get it turned around. They've got to figure out what Bo Nix is. Do they want him as a pure passing quarterback? Do they want him as a Jane Daniels, where they're going to do designed runs with him? What kind of quarterback do they want from him? And they've got to figure that out.
That's fair, my friend. That's fair. I have confidence. Like you said, I think we got a great coach. I think we got a great staff. We need to figure out the run-pass balance. We need to figure out who we want this quarterback to be in full. But we'll be doing it all in week 2. Jody, I forgot to ask before we went live. Are we going to see you on this Friday?
No.
Well, then that's going to make this a little bit easier to fill the last couple of minutes, man. I need to get your thoughts, I guess, on this upcoming, at least some quick thoughts around this upcoming game, how you think the matchup looks, and if you'd like, maybe a score prediction as well. I'll get mine out with Trevor on the Friday podcast.
I wouldn't say I'm overly nervous, but it is a game that, Denver, I couldn't tell you the last time that I seen Denver go into Indy and play a good game. It's just a place that they struggle. That being said, this is a team, Daniel Jones is a first-round pick for a reason. And what he was able to do last week, he's the first quarterback and the only quarterback ever to score on all 7 possessions. Now, is that more of a Indianapolis Colts, or is that just how bad and dysfunctional the Dolphins are right now? I think it's a little of both. Just like you could say the same thing when Miami put 70 on Denver. Was Denver just that bad, or was it just one game? They also have Jonathan Taylor. I mean, this is a team, if everyone wants to be honest with themselves, we should have lost to this team last year, and it's one Jonathan Taylor dropping the ball at the goal line on an easy walk-in touchdown that turned the whole game around, or we probably lose to the Colts in Denver last year with Anthony Richardson at quarterback. So I hope Denver doesn't overlook this game. I hope this is a game where Denver can get right in some different things, figure out how to run the football, get Bo Nix back on track, and by back on track, he doesn't have to throw for 350 and 5 touchdowns. I'll take a Tampa Bay stat line like he had last year, whatever it was, like 20 for 29, like 220, no one rushing touchdown. I'll take that if he's moving the ball and different things and we're running the football. Because week 3 is going to be a serious game, and that's going to show where we're at. So that being said, I think Denver, the last I heard, was favored by like a point. I think they should win this game, but it's a game that what we said is an easy 2-0 start, I don't think is that anymore. I just want to see us be sound and fundamental with some things on offense, get the plays in quicker, help Bo out, some different things. And I think Denver can win this football game and continue to grow with this offense. And you're not winning a Super Bowl week 2. So get this W. And at the end of the season, no one's going to care if you won this game by 1 point or 50 points, because hopefully by then you've got your offense on track. So I see somewhere of like a 24 20, 24-17 type game.
Ernie Mays sees about the same amount of points for the Broncos. He's coming in with 24 points for the Broncos. Sees that Denver Broncos defense doing much like they did this last week, only giving the Colts 9 points in a Denver Bronco victory. Rodney Garcia, you're tugging on my heartstrings, buddy. He says, "Hey guys, I'm sad. Just sold my Mustang after 8 years of having her. She was part of me and was great. Go Broncos, man." Rodney, for me, it was probably the 78 Camaro. The 78 Camaro is the one that hurt the most for me, man. But I'm a car guy as well. Love my cars. Had a lot of wonderful cars throughout the years. And it's always sad when a good one that's been part of you as long as 8 years goes down the road. Rodney, go Broncos. Hope you're doing okay. It's all right, man. Go to the gas pump, smell that petrol, and remember the good memories of your Mustang. All right, buddy. I'll be interested to break down some more film heading into Friday of the Indianapolis Colts. Like I said, I was really looking at this last game, seeing what the Denver Broncos were all about. Denver Broncos are 100% legit when it comes to the defense, Jody. Ain't no questions there. And could possibly even get better once a Dre Greenlaw returns. The questions remain out on this offense for 2025, right, as of right now. But
do you think we see Greenlaw Sunday?
I don't think so. Not from what Sean Payton said. Working his way back. He's doing well. Working his way back tells me he's not quite ready.
Are they saving him for week 3 and 4, you think?
I think week 3 is the earliest we see him, as long as he continues on his, good path. Knock on wood. Well, that's what we want to hear. By the way, like I said, offense, please get on track, get on pace, get together. We got to this week. Today was the first day of padded practice, getting ready for the Colts. Get a good game plan together, Sean Payton. Let's execute well. Let's get out of the huddle. I'll be talking more about that on Friday. One more shout out that I didn't mention. I think I flashed it up on the screen. Horseman that was in the background, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick, wanted to give a shout out to Jeremy Crawshaw. I think that does bear mentioning, just because of all the struggles that he had in preseason. Came out, wasn't really a question the entire game, was pinning them deep, had some beautiful kicks. Didn't matter if they had to be short, long, was pinning them in the proper position. Thought he did a great job out there. Congratulations, Ricky, on that. On our behalf to you. Congratulations, Jeremy Crawshaw. Good. I
have a quick question before we get out of here that I heard today, and see what you thought real quick. Do you think all the talk that Sean Payton did this offseason about Bo can be a top 5 quarterback and this can be a Super Bowl winning team and it reminds him of the 09 Saints, do you think all that talk, Bo Nix is feeling that? Do you think he is feeling it, or do you think he's the type of guy that doesn't matter to him?
I don't think it's the talk. You kind of pointed out throughout this podcast, Jody. I thought it was just going to be a zone blocking run game that was going to be different, wide zone blocking scheme. This offense looks completely different from last year as of right now. I think, especially if you go back, and I was thinking about it myself, the way that Sean Payton talked about their implementation, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, how they were one of the slowest teams to get to that phase 3, and that they really worked on phase 1 and phase 2 and all. I just don't think it's gelled. It's ready. It's come together. They haven't been able to execute it at a high level versus quality opponents and work the kinks out. Might be as many kinks for Sean Payton as there are for Bo Nix, and seeing what works out there on the field. So I don't rack it up to anything other than that. I don't think this offense is good because as of right now, because I don't think they've had enough time to develop it on both sides, from a quarterback standpoint or a coach's standpoint.
What did you think of all the RPO? Did you like that or not really?
I'm fine with it as long as sometimes you use the R in the RPO.
Yeah, you've got to get the run game going before you can. Which it's like he forgets sometimes.
Yeah, he just wants to go out there and play action RPO, and we've never ever ran the ball for the last 12 plays. There's no reason for the defense to respect it until otherwise. I'm just going to queue up on Bo Nix and the receivers. RPO all you want. All you're doing is delaying yourself in the backfield. All these motions and fake handoffs to the wrong side at times. It's not helping it's not helping at all. Get on page, get on script, use this week wisely. We'll be talking about this Indianapolis Colts team, the matchup on Sunday, this Friday. We go live every Monday, every Friday, every Wednesday. I don't know why I did that. Every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday. 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, respectively. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify. We absolutely love every single like, share, subscribe that you give us. Posse, you're amazing. We appreciate you so dang much. Been growing, getting bigger, and got the OG show here on Wednesday, Hump Day, with Jody Moncrief and Keith Brugman on the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. Love you all. Any final thoughts before I get out of here, man? Run Grand Crucial says Ernie Mays, and I agree, man.
I just want to see the offense get more in sync. I want to see Bo Nix get settled in the pocket, and I want to see this run game, take off a little bit more. And I want to see Sean Payton call a complete game from no little miscues. I just want to see a complete game. And when that happens, I think this is a deadly team. And because what we've seen Sunday night, we are not on the level of Buffalo or Baltimore right now. So at least on one side of the football, and we can get there. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it's got to start now.
Ready to get started now. Unfortunately, we're not getting started now. We do need to get out of here, man. Can't wait to see everybody on Friday, man. Jody, thanks so much for the podcast, man. I love coming in here on a Wednesday, having the OG show, having the Hump Day show, evaluating this Denver Broncos team, really being able to look back, look at the tape, and kind of break down what we're seeing. We're going to be doing it all season long. Can't wait to ride every Wednesday with you. We'll pick up some bonus Fridays with you along the way, and maybe even some bonus Sunday post-game shows or whatever post-game, whatever day it happens to be in there, man. But always great to have you, my friend.
Yeah, great show. Looking forward to the game this week. Hopefully we can get that second W and on to LA, which is going to be a huge game for us. So, but let's not overlook the Colts because this is not a guaranteed W like we thought at the beginning of the season.
Just got a lot tougher after last week. Should be well on your radar, man. But like I said, time to roll. Fantastic episode. We got to get out of here. We're going to do it the way we always do. Make sure you keep those boots in the stirrups, guns in the holsters, and, of course, Denver Broncos in your heart. Until next time, we're out of here. Mile high salute. Can't wait to see you Friday. Have a good one, everybody.